All right, so here we go. I'm going to show you guys how I, as a visually handicapped person, does this work. Everybody's been asking, so here we go. So I use my hands, my fingers a lot, and feel this and just put that on there. And on these builds that we're doing a complete restoration, and you're not just repairing, you're not going back together, we're going to put all new bolts in this thing, so we're not too worried about that. We just throw them. This plastic piece will be junk. It's trash anyway, so we're just gonna make a pile of trash parts. Now, when I drop stuff, it's kind of interesting. But all right, so now we're gonna uncover this thing, see what we got. Wow, that radiator actually looks pretty good. Yet, bolt sizing is a kind of a big deal for me. Trying to feel bolt sizes and stuff, but. I like to keep these old bolts, and like some of these little things that are handy for other projects around. I don't throw them away, but they won't be used in the build. So we've got aftermarket bolts here going on, and it's all twisted, and the seat is way off here. So I think the separator's pushed over that way. We're definitely gonna have to cross that bridge. So, all right, time to take the seat off. And the muffler off so I can get the rest of that fender off. Let's see what we got under here. I guess we'll have to get that subframe off to really see how bent it is, but it's all pretty good. This is all factory. Like, still got the rubber plate in here, and it's dirty, but pretty impressed with the originalness of this bike. Some people like taking stuff apart. I don't. My favorite, it's a lot more fun for me to put back together. Taking apart is never as satisfying to me. But I do like taking apart when it's a full build, because you don't have to worry about anything. You're taking it all the way down anyway, so you don't have to try to worry about where your bolts go and all that. That's a different side. That's some sort of farmer bolt there. And that's some sort of Allen, so I'm gonna have to, it's gonna take a bit. We'll be back when I can find the right wrenches. 1/2 inch, 13. Nope. I don't know if we got it 12 or not. 11. Interesting. Where did I get that? I'm gonna try this 11 because it's kind of weird. Yep. I don't think we're gonna reuse this unless it's an old pro circuit. And I would, because they're hard to come by, but it's pretty dented. We'll see. Washed first.
You can see the bend on the subframe now.
Well, the whole thing, I think, is tweaked. I don't know.
That's weird because it looks good here. No, it doesn't either. This whole end is lower.
All right, now I'll get the tank off. I don't think there's many bolts holding this on. Yeah, it's interesting. I like this. It's all original. It's got all the little rubber plates and. Give myself some slack here. Normally, much slack as possible. I won't do this at home because this is being all replaced. So. There we go. These kind of things are a little bit tough for me. I have to feel where the groove is, and then I just work and wiggle until she's out. And this whole thing, just with the perch and everything, I don't know. We're not gonna use the cable, of course, but with not knowing what kind of parts availability we have for this thing quite yet, we're gonna save everything.
Now you pull on the kill switch?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull the kill switch. They got two little banana style plugs there. When I look for tools, you might find this interesting. Looking for a Phillips head screwdriver, right? So I have to feel every one of them. I can't see if it's a Phillips or no, it's not. It's too big. We need some better tools. Man, if I was looking for a flathead, I sure wouldn't find one. Are there no little Phillipses in here?
I don't know. There's a stubby.
I can make
You're
it
about
work.
gonna need it because that guard's kind of in the way for full length.
I know it's like when people try to watch me do this stuff, they just go bananas basically because they want to just put their hands in and get it right, you know, because I just fumble so much. But hey, it is what it is. Still got the factory rubber on the throttle. That's kind of interesting. You don't see that very often on these old bikes. But alignment of things a lot of times is one of my biggest trials. Like with screwdrivers especially, I don't have my screwdriver aligned properly, you know, to not strip it out or something like that, you know. Stick that back on now. Let's see, get more brake line clamps, and Carter's got liver pills. The bigger ones was, there's a bigger Phillips head in here that would have worked. Try this one. Like I said, these, like the angle of my screwdriver on the screws, sometimes I struggle with just a little bit. Crazy, all the little guards and everything's still on here. That's all pretty cool. Makes this thing, you know, not been wrenched on a huge amount by somebody that shouldn't have been.
Do they come factory with green carburetor line?
No.
It's not too shocking that a bike this old's had
Yeah.
the carburetor worked on.
How old is it? 13. That's what, 19 years old?
This pipe got beat up.
Yeah.
Through its life too.
I gotta do something. I'm in one of the hardest things to find right now is a pipe. Cannot find one.
Now this one's really beyond saving.
And the 03 is the worst one to find for because they're different than the 04 and the 05, and they're different than the 02. There's not very many things that only 1 year of.
This might have something to do with you saving these wheels. To fill that right there.
Ooh,
Somebody really buggered on it.
yeah, a deep mean one in there. I've pretty much decided not to.
You're gonna pretty much think you're gonna do something else. They're cool. Let us know in the comments what you think. Should we save these?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know.
Or should we build a set of Eston Pros for it?
All right. Now I get my 10 and just pull these handlebars off. wonder if that's factory, that solid mount.
It doesn't have a brand name on it. Nothing obvious.
Kind of like that. Comment below, should we keep 7/8 bars on it, or should we put 1 1/8 bars on it?
Is that kind of an old school thing?
Somewhat. Kawasaki held on to 7/8 bars for, man, long time. They were probably one of the last ones to go to a fat bar.
Why does this say Heavy Industries on it?
Well,
They're making bikes.
I don't know what it says on this bike, but Kawasaki builds a lot of big things like ships and stuff like that. So I guess it's probably still back to their roots like that. Most people think Kawasaki only builds motorcycles, and small engines, but it's not the case. All right, now I'm going to take the septum off.
What are parts availability like for these subframes? Can you find them?
Yeah, there's a couple on eBay, and I've been waiting until I take this apart to just make a decision. But if I can find a good straight one on eBay, I think I'm gonna just get one, because I don't know if I can't. I'll have to try to straighten this one. But that's,
It really looks like it's seen better days.
yeah,
though.
it's always a little iffy. Well, that bolt don't come in any kind of bolt kit or anything, so better hold on to that one. Well, they weren't falling out loose, but they were basically, maybe it's been apart.
There you go.
It's not in bad shape really, but it's gonna take some serious cleaning. That's boys and girls, that's what you don't want your air filter to look like. She's not only had and filthy dirty, but it's coming apart.
Joel ran out to do something. While he's gone, I'm gonna show off his work. This is his last project. He claims that the KX over there is gonna be better. We're gonna have to wait and see. This is a spicy unit. Have you been working on a graphics kit for it?
Yeah, I have been. That's one of them long drawn out processes. You build something, I mean you create something you think is good, and then you double check, and you start doubting it, and so you can it and you do another one. And it usually takes me a little while to get that process all through and done. I gotta pull this chain apart. This chain's actually not in that bad of shape. Sure seen a lot worse. Here's a little thing for you. If you can't see very well, those things are extremely hard for me to find. So I just run my fingers on the outside here.
You're trying to find the.
I'm trying to find the repair link. Yeah.
Repair link. There you go.
This is the stuff that takes me a lot longer. There it is. I seen it that time.
Sometimes you got to use a real hammer.
I guess it's proof that you can build great bikes without all $40 million worth of tools. It's just, you can look at it from that standpoint.
They help. They're not necessary, I would say.
They
Not
do,
as.
though. They do help. I think it's stuck like a chuck. See, from here I can't see my fingers. I can't see the at all. I have to just kind of feel my way in there, and that thing ain't moving very good. It's been together for a minute. I ain't moved it.
There we go. What does DID stand for? Like the wheels are DID Japan's.
That's just a brand. I don't know. The DID builds chains, and they build. I don't know what DID actually stands for. If somebody knows, and comment below.
So what's the current game plan?
All right.
What's next?
Current game plan. I'm gonna take the wheels off, and at this point, wheels and tires, sprockets, brake rotors, everything are just. We're just gonna stack them somewhere. Hey, I'm gonna use our hammer to take the wheel off.
There you go. It's an adjustable hammer.
A nut lathe. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna see if I can find a socket. Snap off with the wind, baby.
What do those bolts do?
These are axle pinch bolts.
Keep things from going crazy if you lose the axle nut.
Well, it determines the width, the spread of your fork.
Oh.
Like if you just clamp that down with no axle pinch, it would just suck your forks in, right?
Right.
So you clamp it down to a certain point, and then you spin the wheel and hit the brake and kind of jostle it, and then you tighten those down. That's usually a good seat of the pants way of doing things. All right, so now once the pinch bolts are loose and the nuts off, if this has been greased properly, it should just come out.
Good luck.
19 years later, this has been beat on to beat it in there. So.
Your odds are getting lower.
She's going, it's just. Sure do. Not too bad.
It sure was beat up though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was beat. Sorry, it
You
was.
good?
It was beat on. There for now.
You think this suspension is savable, or you're not
Oh, yeah,
planning on
I'm
saving
gonna-
it?
These forks are actually not bad shape. They're not. I'm not gonna be satisfied with the current anodizing on them, but they're gonna be what I'm gonna send these off and get them redone. All right, now back to the. Oh, this is something. These cotter pins are something that modern bikes don't have. They just have a lock nut. We'll be a little more careful when we put the new stuff back together. That's for sure. Now, little tidbit of information. This block, I haven't looked at these closely, but the only blocks that you can find aftermarket, like bling kits, are blue. And I'm just not willing for a bright blue on my Kawasaki at this point. So I may end up keeping these and I don't know, vapor honing them or anodizing them or something, I'm not sure. If somebody knows where you can find something besides a blue axle block, like a blingy type thing, let me know. They're greased, but they're still a little bit stiff. That's what that rubber thing is for. On the handle
On your
of it.
adjustable hammer?
Yeah.
For some reason, we can't find a hammer in the shop. That's why somebody ran off with it.
And if somebody wants to know why I ain't wearing gloves, it's because I can't feel through them. I do wear gloves sometimes when it's absolutely necessary, but the fact that I can't feel through them really slows me down on that. So now I can she just don't sit very good on there.
Looks a lot smaller than when we started.
Oh yeah.
It's a crazy looking sprocket. They don't make them looking like that anymore, do they? Star looking like that. Well, they all seem to have the
Round holes?
round holes in them.
That's not. Dirt Trick's still baked, and we'll probably put a Dirt Tricks on this one. That's all.
That is
Spoke.
spoke like that. Gotcha.
Yeah. Now, we're not too far away from the bane of most bike builders' existence in tearing it down anyway, and that's the swing arm pin. If that swing arm pin hasn't been oiled or greased, they can be almost nigh to terrible to get out because they're a steel pin through aluminum.
They like to galled up
Where
in
they
there.
go through the engine, they gall up in there. But
Well,
anyway,
this has got
I'm gonna take the forks out first.
this one's got rust around it, so that's
Oh, we're off.
We're off to a good start.
Off to a good start. I'm really kind of impressed. These triple clamps, at least the top one, and the suspension itself is just a lot better shape than some that you
It looks
start
really good.
that you start with, for sure. They've been in there a minute. Put that down in that crack.
That one too. There you go. Smooth it right out of there.
Look how far through these are. They're well past their minimum.
Like they're not supposed to be through the clamp that far.
No. I mean, it would really affect the handle.
Would those forks have actually been straight gold, or pretty much at one point?
They'd have been like that Honda, like Braden's Honda over there.
More gold. They're
Gold, but
they're faded out a lot.
they might have not been quite that much, but it would have been more than they are.
Oh, you can see it. You can see it under the clamp.
Oh, yeah.
They turned pretty much rose gold instead
Yeah.
of gold. That's crazy.
Like this is what they would have looked like all shiny, clean. Head tube bearings are actually not too bad. They're not out, but we'll replace it all anyway. So, all right. Next, I might as well just while I'm working up here, I might as well just pull this head tube off. I mean, this triple clamp off. Like it's just in good shape yet. That all will clean up.
That
like
looks new, don't it?
Yeah, it's really good. I'm not hating it at all. I know I keep talking about it, but man, I've worked on bikes that okay, there's the top. Again, this is beautiful stuff. It's all in good shape. I don't think it's ever been off of here.
If it was, they had the right tool. I sure didn't.
All right.
So what's the next step?
Oh, take the radiators off. Take the pipe off. Get some of this hanging stuff out of my way so I don't lose my mind. Frame, it's interesting if you look at this, all this paint is in really good shape yet. You can bend those if you're not careful. They're actually softer than you think. These lures are another thing that could be.
That one's missing one, looks like.
No, it just pops in the bottom. Well, that's where the shroud bolts through.
Oh,
These lures are probably could end up being kind of precious too. Sometimes you can get these and sometimes you can't. So we gotta treat them like maybe I have to keep them. I reshaped it a little bit, but I'll get it. It won't be hard to get squared away. Pretty good. She's got a little slant to her, but we can easily get that straightened out. that'll straighten right up. Maybe we'll do a video on how to straighten radiators. That must have some sort. Oh, it slides onto a tab or something back here. Does it go up or down?
Is it right there? You got a little farther in with your screwdriver, and then pull it to down. Maybe you got to go up with your screwdriver on that little tab.
Yeah, that's what I wondered. Like sometimes you
You're a little too far into it, I think. But
right there. I heard it. Does the thing slide down? Yeah, it slides down.
yeah, it slides down off of there. And this is one of the things where I got to fight down not doing it for you.
I know. This is the kind of stuff that gives me absolute nightmares.
There you go. Just like that. So what do you put in each bucket? So obviously the one is bolts.
Pretty much it don't really matter so much to me. I just got bolts in the one, and then I'm probably going to end up moving everything out of that center one into the other one because I'll probably use one of those for the motor.
Oh yeah.
When I take the motor apart. I just like the knowledge that every piece is contained and it don't get scattered or kicked under something because I trip on stuff.
So it's not so much about knowing exactly where each piece is, it's more about just not having to search a whole room for it.
Right. If I just have to search those 3 buckets for every part, I can do that. If I have to search this workbench and and I'm bad about it, if it gets on the floor, I don't see it, I step on it or kick it and it's gone forever. So I just make sure that everything gets in one of those buckets, including bolts and everything, because then when I'm putting it back together and I need a part, I only have 1 place to look, 3 places to look, and they're small places, you know, so that's just how I do it. It just makes it, I've done it that way, and it just, I feel calm inside when I know everything's in that bucket.
That pipe got in the way of a lot of things, didn't it? It had
Yeah, I should take
dings
that
and
out.
dents and scratches, and but like it had, the fender was rubbing on it, it burnt the bottom of the front fender is all melted up. I was rubbing the bottom of the radiator. The kicker was hitting on it.
Yeah, the kicker's hitting on it because the kicker's flopped a little.
Oh yeah, it's all floppy.
If it was in the right place, it wouldn't be hitting it. If it was right there.
Oh, it says it's just sagging too far down.
Flopped a little. All right, now I'm gonna take this pipe over here. Looks like this we'll just use our fingers. On that one. That one I did. I'm not gonna be able to on that one.
About got it.
All right, so now we're gonna have an 8mm somewhere under here. Oh, it used to. That's probably why we got issues, because this pipe isn't.
Oh, it's not set where it needs to be.
Not bolted at all. It was just sprung. She's no longer for this world, I don't think. Not for my bike, anyway.
It's really spicy. There we go.
So there you go. That's what happens when you put the wrong gas in.
He said in the ad, you know, they said it ran like new. And then they said, then he said it needed a spark plug. Well, they put a spark plug in it. I guess that's when they found out it doesn't run on just straight gasoline. That can kind of be hard to see now, but if you just back off on this one and wander over to this one here wasn't far off in roughness.
That RM was every bit as rough.
Yeah, that one too. That one came in really rough as well. But this KTM 6 months ago wasn't. It looked a lot more like this than it did like that.
Yeah, that's for real.
What is that?
This is the CDI.
It's like his computer.
Yeah.
ECU.
Yeah. Just for reference, that spark plug end just fell off of there. So when we go to put this back together, we may need to address that. This is interesting. This is built completely different than the. I'm just kind of noticing that now that this don't have a backbone.
Oh, be a little easier to work on the top of.
It's completely different than all these other bikes of its era.
What he's meaning is this bike has a piece from the head tube down that makes it harder to work on top of the engine. And this one is split.
It comes with its own challenges because motor mount is actually, this is welded, so it comes all the way down in there. But once you had the motor mount off and stuff, you would be able to do a top end on this pretty easy, like without taking it out of the bike, which is relevant for us because she's coming out. You learn.
Yeah, that one was super easy compared to the other one, wasn't it?
When you know what it's supposed to do, you just.
So what sensors are in the carb?
I haven't even looked at this one, but probably a throttle positioning sensor. Probably the only thing in this carburetor. Yep.
Throttle position sensor, and then this is what is this one?
Okay, so you have.
It's like a.
It might be a carb heat, but I'm not even sure. That's a unique look. I've never seen that. It's got a jet here, so I'm not sure what that. Somebody comment if they know what this is. My RM's never had this. They had the throttle position sensor, but not the. I guess that's what that is. It looks like it.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
And there's definitely been race gas. This is very much race gas.
So at least it died drinking the good stuff.
Yeah,
at least.
died drinking Kool-Aid. But I've heard of that before, that people would go and buy that gas and think it was what they needed, like instead of mixing
instead of mixing it.
Yeah. They buy it knowing it needs special gas. That's all they know is it needs special gas, and so they go get the special gas.
No way it can melt down in style.
Alrighty, well, that cleaned us up pretty clean. Now, let's get that swing arm out of there, and then we can unbolt the motor and get the motor out, and then we can just strip the frame down.
If a blind guy can build bikes with a sparse tool set,
Anybody can.
anybody can build a bike. You got no excuse to be sitting around.
That's some motivation, that's all you need. Come on out of there.
There you go. That looks like almost a 17.
Oh, actually, it's down there. It's actually right here.
That is an odd looking linkage system in there.
No, that's
how they do it?
Yep, very normal. Sure is.
So I guess the shock pushes on this lever, and that lever's on the frame.
Yes.
And then this lever's off the frame onto the swing arm. Crazy. A lot more complicated than you'd think if you just look at the top and see a spring going to the swing arm.
Yeah, what reason is because of the progression. Like that makes the leverage so much more in that for the shock.
That makes it
You can
more.
have all this travel and it only moves a little ways.
Oh yeah. Shock and a piece of gas line.
We're gonna reuse it, but she's gonna have to be thoroughly rebuilt. So I'm thinking about sending it off and having them done by AHM. Factory services, hopefully. I've done them myself and I can do them myself, but I want them all coated up pretty and I want it to be beyond amazing. So, all right, you know where we're at. We're basically, well, I need to take this brake system off here and then we're basically to that shock pin situation. I mean the swing arm pin.
Title of the video is going to be Watch a Blind Guy Find Tools.
I hate it. I absolutely hate it because it slows you down so badly, and I'm so frustrated because I can't see what size the dumb things are. And so I go back and forth with sizes, trying to get the right one or whatever. It's just stupid. It makes me mad because you really should only have to do it about once, you know. It just irritates me. It's just a grind on me. This isn't good signs of things to come. These are pretty high torque. Let's soften its mind. I think these are like 60 foot-pounds of torque when you torque them.
Oh, pretty heavy.
That was probably closer to 80 or 100, but.
Well, you put some age on that number and it starts to get a little.
No, here's where your teardown can go good, or it can go bad right here. Because if this pin will come out of here decently, it's great. But if it don't, I've seen there's horror stories. Here I am, I'm a pretty positive dude, just pushing on it with my thumbs. Oh, she's coming right out. She's just jumping out of it. Look at this.
Oh,
Grease for you, baby.
that's hard to complain about.
Yep. Super stoked about that. We gotta strip the swing arm and the frame, get everything ready for powder coating. Just to be stripped all the little fittings. Now, this is, everybody hates on KTM and I know why. I mean, I like Jap bikes too, but this is where KTM has it. They got all their engine bolts blind nutted. They're welded on the front, because this could be too, because it's a metal frame, but they're welded to the frame, so you have long bolts when you see all the bolts are out, no nuts to deal with. This is all gonna be bolt and nut situation all the way around.
Let's get your change yard down there.
Get to my shifter. Take the shifter off.
There you go. You got a wire and a clip here. Just hang on to that for a second. Got it? Is there anything I can do with this?
Alright, so I need to go. That hose is in the way. Alright.
Well, that's about it, ain't it?
There she is. We got the frame. Got to just strip the foot pegs. I got to get all the little tabs off, all the little rubber pieces off, brake pedal off, bearings out, braces out, all the little things, get ready for powder coating, and then same way with the swing arm. And then I'm going to clean all this mess up, decide what all I'm going to keep, what I'm not. Put everything in these boxes, clean up all the tools, and we will be ready for another project. Thanks you guys for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Please do, if you haven't already, to watch this giveaway bike come to life. Don't forget about the giveaway. Go on there and go to the website, builtblind.com, and get you some merch and get entered to win this thing. It's gonna be amazing. So see you on the next one.